Okay, now let's simplify. So we're going to simplify this. Of course, the concept is what? Breaking this down to what? Their smallest multiple. Of course, we have 3n negative 3n negative 1. So we are having a case where this becomes 3n negative what? 3n negative 1 over what? Of course, we have 3 raised to power 3 here. So it becomes 3 raised to power what? 3 multiplied by 3n negative 27 is a multiple of what? 3, right? Which is 3 raised to power 3. So by having 3 raised to power 3 multiplied by what? 3n negative 1. Of course, the concept is easy. What do you notice here? 3 raised to power 3 and 3 raised to power 3 is common at the denominator, right? That's what is common here, right? 3 raised to power 3 is common. So I'm going to repeat this and we're going to factorize that out. All over what? 3 raised to power 3. Factoring that out, we have. So if we divide 3 raised to power 3 by 3 raised to power 3 multiplied by 3n, this will go off. We're left with what? 3n negative. If we, of course, divide this by this, we're going to be left with what? 3n negative 1. But now, take a look. The denominator and the numerator are looking like, right? So we can quietly cancel this and cancel this out. So the process is easy. We have successfully made the denominator look like what? The numerator. So when we cancel that, we are left with what? 1 over what? 3 raised to power 3. In turn, 1 over what? 3 raised to power 3 is what? 27. So this becomes 27. So this is the concept of indices. So let's simplify this. We're having solution. So please, what do you notice here? We're having 2n plus 1, 2n plus 1. We're having 2n negative 1. We're having 2n, right? So our first step was a breakdown. Of course, the only thing we're left with to break down is what? This 4. So let's do that as a step. It's very important to take note the concept. Break everything down, then improvise and investigate how you can factor out each term and cancel them out. That's the process of what? Simplification and indices of valuation. Now we're having what? 2n plus 1. When we break this out, it becomes 2 raised to power 2 multiplied by what? 2n negative 1. All over what? 2n plus 1 negative 2n. Of course, this will become, of course, this is 3. This is 3 brackets 2n plus 1 negative 2. Now tell me, what do you notice? These two are of the same what? Base, right? And then this is the powers will add, right? That's what's the concept. The powers will add. So in the case you're adding the powers, it becomes 2 plus n negative 1. So you're having over what? 2n plus 1 negative 2n. So this becomes 3 bracket what? 2n plus 1 bracket close. We're having negative 2. 2 plus n negative 1. This becomes n, of course, 2 negative 1 becomes plus 1. So that's the concept. All over what? 2n plus 1. We have negative 2n. What did you notice here? What did you notice here? You are saying that 2n plus 1 is common to both sides, right? But what do you notice here? Is it common to what? The denominator? It is not common to the denominator. So what is our step here? We have to improvise this now. What is common to both sides is 2 raised to power n, right? 2 raised to power n is common to both sides. So we're going to factor only 2 raised to power n. So factoring only 2 raised to power n, it becomes, we're factoring 2 raised to power n out. You're left with what? Of course, this can be written as what? 2 raised to power n plus 1 is written as 2n multiplied by 2. So it becomes what? 3 multiplied by what? 2 raised to power 1. Because if this multiplies this, it becomes what? 2n plus 1. Then now negative 2 raised to power n, from 2 raised to power n plus 1, it becomes what? 2 raised to power 1. All over what? If you remove this, it becomes 2. Of course, you'll be left with 2, negative 1. So that's the concept. So we are removing 2n all the way from here. The concept is easy. We are removing 2n from the denominator, which is in turn, if you multiply this, it becomes this. Multiply this, it becomes this. So you notice that this will cancel this for sure. You have 3 multiplied by 2 becomes what? 6, of course, negative 2 over what? 2 negative 1 becomes what? 1. So you're having 6 minus 2 equals to 4, 4 over 1. So therefore the answer is 4. So the concept is easy. It's very unique. Some of you may find it difficult to understand what we did here, but the concept is easy. We factored, see, we have to factor 2 raised to the power n plus 1 because it's common to the numerator, right? But it's not common to the denominator, so we can't factor that. But in this case, we are able to factor 2 raised to the power n. 2 raised to the power n is common to both sides. 2 raised to the power n is common here, it's common here, it's also common here, and it's common here. So if we do that, factoring that out, now let me show you something. 2 raised to the power n plus 1 can be expressed as what? 2n multiplied by what? 2 raised to the power 1. So if I remove this, you're left with what? 2 raised to the power 1. That's why we have it here, and that's why we have it here. So that's just the concept of this. Do the same thing, we also have it here. This is 2 raised to the power 1, which is same to. So that's what the concept of what indices.